Yo, what's going on everyone? Spag here. Hope you're all doing well. Now, firstly, I just want to thank everyone for watching my recent Heat Speak podcast. You know, we've done 2 episodes now and the reception's been pretty sick. So I'm hoping to do quite a few more of those in the future, man. So thank you very much for the support there. But let's talk. Nee just made a tweet after the recent ATL tournament stating that in his opinion, Tekken 8 is not fun. Now, he goes on to say that the aggressive game is actually too absurd right now. And as someone that's been playing the game since Tekken 1, he feels like he just can't understand Tekken 8. Now, there's a lot to unpack here. Now, firstly, you have to understand that Nee is not just a player who's been playing for the past, 10 years or whatever. No, this guy's been playing for decades at the high level, I remember seeing his videos back in Tekken 4, man. And this guy was playing at a super, super high level back then. The highest level. And even at a point where, the Pakistanis, we know them to be probably the best, not probably, definitely the best in the game right now. They've won so many titles in Tekken 7. Who knows who's going to win Tekken 8, but right now they are the best. And they even said that Nee was the reason, one of the reasons why these guys were able to get so good, because they watched his videos back in the old Tekkens and were able to learn from him, right? So this guy, there's a reason why Nee is considered the GOAT, right? The greatest of all time. And it's because he's been dominating for so many years throughout multiple Tekken titles. But he says he can't understand Tekken 8. And, I've got to be very honest with you guys. It is probably because, Nee and Arslan Ash are both very primarily focused on defense more than their offense. And of course, Tekken 8 is an offensive game. Now, I was at the Tekken World Tour Finals in Amsterdam when Namco first revealed the heat system and the general mechanics of Tekken 8. I was also one of the first guys to actually play the game when Bandai Namco Europe invited me down to their office over a year ago. And that's why I was able to make that overview video of Tekken 8. As soon as I got to play the game, the first thing I thought in my head was, this is not a game which is going to suit Nee or Arslan Ash. These guys are so primarily focused on defense, as I said, and both have shown over their many, many years of competing that, defense is actually what wins tournaments. And it's one of the reasons why I was saying for years, the reason why Rangchu was able to win the Tekken World Tour Finals in 2018 with Panda is because of his strong defense. Now, however, the game is more focused on offense. And the aggression kind of forces you sometimes into situations where you have to guess. More so than any other Tekken before. But I don't think that's the only thing. I think that Tekken 8's also given players more options to steal back their turn. So let's say you have momentum, you're playing, you got your opponent at the wall, they throw out a power crush, and power crushes have been buffed in Tekken 8 as well, so they do activate like a frame earlier, I think now. And some of them are really, really strong. You have the high power crush heat engages, which we actually mentioned, we talked about on the recent Heat Speak podcast with the Koreans and FDX, where, they were like, pretty much everyone was in agreement that these power crushes are a bit too strong. So that's one thing. But then also the heat burst. It seems like everyone's a little bit divided on what they want to do with heat burst, but everyone kind of wants it changed in a way. I feel like the fact that it's plus on block, it has crazy range, amazing tracking. It's a power crush, like it can absorb your moves, like there's very little counterplay to that, right? And it's something which allows you to steal back your turn because it's plus on hit and plus on block. All these things kind of really don't reward players who are defensive, So it doesn't surprise me that, Nee and Arslan, actually the 2 guys which we're seeing, are most kind of against the system right now with Tekken 8. Because all the things I just spoke about spell disaster for players who are primarily focused on their defense. Now, I don't want to get any of you guys confused as well, because I've seen a lot of people talking about how, Nee's just got to get good, it's a new game, you got to just start adapting and this, that. He's trying to adapt. Nee, I played him. I actually was in Abu Dhabi recently with Arslan and Nee. It was a very rare opportunity, these guys had an exhibition. And if you haven't seen it, make sure you watch it. I'm not going to ruin the result for you, but it was super, super close. Nee and Arslan had a first to 10 exhibition, and I was there to commentate it. And, I'm there. We were there for a few days, so obviously I'm going to talk. I'm going to ask questions. We're going to play games as well. And, I noticed I played Nee a lot in Tekken 7. I've played him in this game now too, and I've noticed he's trying to play definitely more offensive, and that's not just with him, that's with other defensive players as well, like Seppi Black and Gosane. These are players from Europe who are very defensive, but now you know, they're playing that offensive style now. They're trying to, at least, you know. So I'm sure these guys are trying to adapt, but they're finding it very, very hard. Now, defensive play style isn't just getting a life lead and running away. That's not what Need did. That's not what Arslan did. You know, sometimes, of course, that's what you're going to do because it is effective versus certain people. But you can play defense in many different ways. There's people who, for example, from Japan, from Pakistan, they play defense sometimes by standing in your face. They'll defend, but they're applying a ton of pressure by just standing in your face and being like, I'm not scared of anything you're going to throw out. I can react to some of the lows that you're going to do. I can move in close and beat a lot of the mids and highs you're going to do. Like, defense is not just about, you know, holding back and doing nothing. You know, JDCR was so dominant throughout Tekken Tag 2 because his defense, his whiff punishment, his movement was amazing, and it's incredible to watch. And Joey Fury put it really beautifully as well on the first episode of Heat Speak, where, you know, he mentioned that, you know, defense is one of the most difficult things that you can actually master, but it is beautiful to watch, you know, at the highest level. Now, the question I have is, are they struggling because of the mechanics of the game? Or are they struggling because of the balance of the game? Now, again, I want to talk about the last episode of Heat Speak, which just took place, and I asked this very question to everyone on the podcast, and CBM, FDX, Rangchu, and John Ding all were in agreement that it seems to be the balance more than anything. That people don't really have too much of an issue with the heat system and the other mechanics. Maybe there's an issue with like homing throws, the fact that throws track both ways, and, you know, maybe a couple other things. But generally speaking, people are okay with the mechanics and the system of the game. But the balance of the game is a little bit too crazy right now. So I'm wondering, is it because the characters are too strong and it's exasperating the mechanics like the heat engages and the heat smashes? If they just nerf some of these characters, which we're hoping is going to happen after EVO Japan, then maybe Tekken 8 is going to be a lot more fun. Because I'll be honest with you, I've been playing Kuma and Eddie. I don't really like what they've done with Eddie. I'll make a video on that separately. But I've been playing a lot of Kuma. And when I come across a character that isn't Dragunov, that isn't Azucena, you know, some of these, you know, other top tier characters, it's actually really fun. And it's really fun. But sometimes you play against some of these top tier characters and it feels like a single player game. So I wonder what it is that Nii is actually complaining about. Is it the mechanics of the game, or is it more about the characters and the balance right now? I'm inclined to believe it's more about the balance and less about the overall mechanics. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see if he says anything more. I'm definitely looking to probably try and ask him some questions though, and see if he can elaborate a little bit more on why he feels like Tekken 8 isn't fun. But either way, guys, let me know what you think about his tweet, and if you guys have an opinion on this as well. I'm really interested to know what you guys think on this specifically, because the community has been kind of split, and I know that from this tweet there's going to be a lot more people that have that same position that are going to come out and say their piece as well. So I want to know, what is it? I mean, are you guys enjoying Tekken 8? I know most people are. I'm definitely enjoying it. But is it, when you come across these top tier characters, that it becomes, you know, less fun? Or is it the mechanics, you know, that has kind of maybe spoiled the game for you a little bit? Let me know, guys, in the comments. Thanks for watching the video, guys. That's going to be it. And hope to see you for the next one, man. Peace.